Tsirit, and this is my second layout with the Scraptastic March kit. I got the Lost in My Mind main kit and add-on, and also a couple of the +1 Amy Tan products that I had in my stash. So the first layout I made from the kit, I kind of had an idea of what I wanted to do beforehand, but this time I kind of went with the flow. I started with the photo. I knew I wanted to use the thickers that came with the add-on that said "this happened," but the rest I kind of decided as the page progressed. So after trying out all kinds of possibilities, I decided to go with that bold striped pattern paper from the +1 collection. I think this is one of my favorite papers in the kit and in that collection, and I think it works great as a background. I also got, because I love the pattern paper so much in this kit, you can also purchase an add-on of just the pattern papers from the main kit, so I got that as well, so I could have two papers from each pattern. And I matted the photo on that basic gray paper. This is from the Fresh Cut collection, and it's a nice tone-on-tone pink pattern. And I matted that on the Bella Boulevard paper that came in the kit, and one side is this pink tone-on-tone stars pattern, and the other side has this script of the days of the week in a light gray on white. And I like that softness of that paper because the picture also has some soft tones, and I thought it was a good fit. I tend to mat my layouts, cut them down a bit, and then mat them on a 12 by 12 paper, and I also did with this layout. At the end I matted it on the pink cardstock that came with the kit. It's a very nice hot pink, and I really like that shade. I also outlined the photo mats with a black pen. I think I first saw Mercy Tiara do that, and I copied that, and I really like how it looks. I do that on a lot of my pages now. Lately I've also been doing that a lot with a white gel pen, and I also like how that looks. It's a different look, and it's just both ways, also with the black and the white, help the papers pop out a bit better, especially when you use a few patterns. Then it really helps define the papers. So I started with, first I adhered this because I knew I wanted it to sit on that white stripe, and then I adhered the happened to the photo and carefully adhered the whole thing onto the page. I had a bit trouble to decide on the embellishments here. I tried to put the wood veneers that came with the kit. It's these great hand-drawn cameras, but I didn't like how that looked. So eventually I decided to go with the speech bubbles, also because I had a couple of things, just a few words to write about every one of the photos. And I tried to stamp a little star on that speech bubble just because I wanted to see how the pigment ink would look on it, and I end up covering it. It looks okay, but it's just I didn't want it for this page. And the story of these photos I made, I edited in Photoshop and fit 4 photos on one 4x6 print, and it we've been having a very mild winter, especially compared to last winter, which was like just snowed all the time. But we had a few days back in February where during the day it was above 0 degrees and it rained all the time, and then during the night the temperatures would drop and all that water would freeze. And that went on for a few days, so eventually everything was covered with like 2 centimeters of ice. Everything, the roads, the plants, the walkway between our house and the driveway. I could barely get to the car without slipping and falling on my yeah. So and then it was the weekend and my husband was working and I was basically stuck at home with my daughter. And we had like a great day and we played all the time, but it was a very strange thing, like to be just, it wasn't possible to drive. We tried to drive, and after 10 meters we went back home because the car was just sliding on that ice. It had no grip on the road. It was really scary. And then to add some more fun to the whole thing, the electricity went, and we had, I think, more than 24 hours without electricity, and which always makes you realize how dependent we are on such things. I'm not even talking about, luxuries like computer and television, but I couldn't cook anything. We have electrical like stove, so it doesn't work on gas. It's also on electricity, so you can't even heat water. And the heating in our house also runs on electricity. It runs on oil, but the machine is electrical, so there was also no heating. The good thing is that the houses here are built, they have nice insulation, so after 24 hours it was still warm inside the house, but if it had lasted longer, then it would have been a bit of a challenge. And in the morning I can't manage without a cup of coffee. It's just, it doesn't work. I can't talk, I can't do anything. So I had to take out the camping kit that we have and make myself my cup of coffee. And in the journaling I write that the sad thing, or the funny thing, or it's sad/funny thing, is that I am more prepared for war than for this type of weather, because where I come from in Israel, we have war every now and then, every few years, which is very tragic. I'm just, you live with it, so don't think by my happy casual tone that I take these things lightly, because I really don't. But point is, I'm more prepared if rockets start falling here than I am to that type of weather, because in Israel it's a very warm country and we don't have snow and the temperatures never drop below 0. So I wasn't prepared for this. So yeah. Okay, just a couple of things before I go back to the scrapbooking. It's not true that we never have snow, because in my hometown we had, in my lifetime, 2 times snow, and it was, I guess, about 2 centimeters. But in Jerusalem and in the north of the country, it snows, yeah, almost every year. So I wasn't very completely accurate. And now I live in Austria, just to clarify that. Yeah, so back to the scrapbooking. I wrote a couple of sentences on those speech bubbles, and I added that cute sticker from the Amy Tan +1 sticker sheet. It says an everyday kind of adventure, so that was really fitting. And also that flare button of the house with the heart, because it all happened in our house. and I used again the stamp set that came with the other main kit of March, and stamped a few of these arrows in orange ink. This is the Jenny Bolin chicken feed ink, and I wrote on it, on the picture on the top left corner is just a plants outside our house covered in ice. So I wrote ice ice baby, very witty indeed. And the picture on the top right is just of our garden, and there are two sets of footsteps on the like in the snow. One is of my daughter, and the other one is of a deer that was just running around outside. So this is also kind of a new experience for me, because I grew up in a town and now we live in the countryside. So we have deers running around, and it's very nice and very new for me. You can see that I matted the whole layout on that pink cardstock, and I gutted that cardstock because I really wanted to use it for like a photo mat or die cutting or whatever. I didn't want to waste that whole 12 by 12 sheet. And here are some still photos and some close-ups. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye!